Hey guys, what's up? I'm just at the airport and I thought I'd do a quick video on because basically being at the airport just gave me this idea. Well, a bunch of ideas actually. I'm about to get into that, so let's go. So basically the topic I wanted to talk about was when you're paying attention to when you walk into certain spaces, when you walk into certain environments, when you walk around certain people, etc., because these are all like forms of spaces, mini spaces within themselves, and whatever space it is will develop or cause you to develop certain thoughts and feelings within that space. That's why it's a good way to tell if you're in a good space based on what kind of thoughts and feelings you're developing and whether or not they're good for you. Are they good thoughts and feelings for you, or are they healthy thoughts and feelings as well? That's another factor that plays into it. But basically your thoughts and your feelings are your sixth sense and your seventh sense. So when you walk into a certain space, this is why when you walk into certain environments, you only get certain thoughts and feelings. You only get certain things on your mind, or when you walk around certain people, you only get certain concepts around those certain people, and it's not to, as well, keep in mind that just like my other videos that I talk about, everything's subjective then objective. So it's always your internal, you're going to be seeing it from your subjective point of view, but you're going to be looking at something that's objective in reality, because we're all teamwork makes the dream work. You're not the only subjective, so we're all using our subjective to help create the objective. But basically, when you look at it from that lens, you're able to see how, you're able to differentiate, the subjective part might be the details of the certain thoughts and feelings that you are getting. They might be playing on your mind, and they may be similar topics to what's relevant to you and the things that you think about, right? So that's the subjective part. That'll be the details, the nitty-gritties and stuff like that. But the general theme, the general topic, you'll be able to tell based on what other general theme across the board. So not just one thought. Let's say you may get one thought when you get into a space, but if you look at every single thought as a collective, or the emotions as a collective, see what kind of picture they're trying to paint. An example of this would be when you are around let me just go with the example that's the most relevant to the situation, because that's the only thing I can really think of at the moment. An example would be my raggedy ass here. No, what's it called? An example of this would be when you walk into an airport, because I'm at an airport right now, right? I noticed the general theme, the general idea, or the general theme of the thoughts and feelings that you get when you're in the airport is kind of thoughts of a domineering kind of concepts, or concepts of feeling kind of anxiety, or feeling like something's over you. I noticed a lot of those kind of concepts, but generally you can get those kind of concepts in a few different environments and spaces. But generally, when you feel and think certain things, this is related to how the space actually correlates itself in the spiritual realm. And then that'll relate what kind of thoughts and feelings you start to develop when you're actually in that physical space, So this is a way you can tell what kind of spaces resonate with you, what kind of spaces don't resonate with your true state of being. And then you can start to adjust and stop going to so many spaces that don't resonate to your true state of being, or stop walking into certain environments or with people that don't resonate with your true state of being. And it's not about whether or not it's right or wrong, because some people may tie these concepts to this. It's really just about harmonizing with the space that you're in. So you have your own energy, I have my own energy. Let's say my energy may be more of an earthy kind of energy, but I'll also have air and fire in my chart. But just as an example, my energy may be more earthy, which it kind of is. So then your energy may be more fiery. So a space like the airport, you may not you may not resonate with the airport because it's more of like a earthy and an airy element, which is to say that the airport's more in the energy of being practical and logical, like left brain type of element. So your energy is more expressive, more free-flowing, more fiery, so all that kind of shit may not play out as well or in a harmonistic way for you. So you'll be experiencing all kind of concepts and feelings that make you feel kind of alien or other to a certain space, and that's a way you can tell that space may not resonate with you. This is why a lot of people even just talk me to the thoughts of school, because school is more of a earthy, it has earth and air elements to it and water elements too, because everyone's kind of connected. You just kind of have to see each other every day, so that develops some kind of energy within its own. And then if you are a person who resonates more with watery and fiery elements, which is to say you're more of a right brain thinker, you're more creative in the mind, you're not so logical. Oh, I'm sorry about that. You're more tied to your emotions. I was wiping the screen and then it flipped camera. But you know what? I always think to myself, sometimes I'm like, maybe I should cut that out, but it's really not that big of a deal. Shit happens, and I like to put that in my videos because it's life, and I think that a lot of videos and things online are just full of fake plastic shit at the end of the day, so put a little bit of realness in there, sprinkle dinkle. So anyways, this goes back to the school. You may be more of a watery or a fiery element at school, so you may not be able to keep up with the demand of the earth and air element, the logic and the practicality, the structure, the routine, the rigidness of everything. Because you, as a spirit, your energy is more of a free-flowing, more of a fiery, watery kind of energy. You're not so stale and rigid, for lack of a better word, because I don't want to call air and earth signs stale. That's literally my sun sign. I'm an air-earth cusp, so if they're stale, I'm as stale as they get. But you get the concept I'm trying to bring across when I tell about stale. It's not the actual negative connotations of the word that people attribute it to. So there's a freaking pay attention to the thoughts and feelings that you get when you're in certain spaces, and keep in mind as well, your own subjective point of view. Are these thoughts and feelings that you constantly get on a day-to-day basis? And if they're not, then that can be a pointer or a tip on to show you where these thoughts and feelings are coming from. And to take it even deeper, on a deeper level as well, especially if you put yourself into a space already, you've already put yourself into a good space, let's say you walk into, or you're just about to walk into the shops, and then all of a sudden you start to get anxiety. Maybe you're not the type to get anxiety on a normal day-to-day basis, but for some reason all of a sudden now you have anxiety because you walked into the shop. Whatever thoughts and feelings and whatever alignments are in the sky at that time is acting as an opposition to you, so it's causing friction within your mind, and then that's causing you to experience thoughts and feelings that aren't in resonation with the kind of thoughts and feelings you want to be thinking, kind of thoughts and feelings you want to be accumulating. So those are all how it ties in, and it's the way, a lot of the time it's the way it's set up too. There's a few different factors. It could be the alignments during the day, it could be just the way that space environment is in general, for example, shops. A lot of people don't realize, but the shop and the supermarket is actually designed for you to think in a certain way. They actually structure it. Sorry guys, my freaking charger unplugged. They actually structure the shop and design the aisles for you to see, for you to think and act in a certain way. They want you to be they want you to be in kind of a reactionary energy. They want you to be kind of in a rush. So that's why when a lot of people go to the shops, they don't want to be there for too long, because that's the kind of energy they want to put you in. Because when you're in a rush and you're in kind of an impulsive energy, it leads you to make more decisions based off your lower animalistic desires. So then you end up spending more money at the shop. And this plays into many different things, but that also can play into people's anxiety on why a lot of people get anxiety when they walk into certain stores like supermarkets, etc. So those are all like different ways that you can tell on how the space was actually built and accumulated, or what kind of structures and ideas people use. And like back to the freaking how they utilize and build the shop in a certain way. An example, in case anyone may want to know, one example of that is like how they change the aisles. They have a certain amount of time, and then they change the aisles after a certain amount of time, because what they do is they don't want you to get used to where everything is. So it leads you into this space of unfamiliarity. And like when you're in a space of unfamiliarity, sometimes you can lead to certain thoughts of being uncertain. You know, it's not always. Unfamiliarity can also be a beneficial space as well. But they want you in those lower animalistic energies and stuff like that. So keeping that in mind, you'll be able to realize when those certain situations are actually happening, and then that'll help you to be able to fight off those thoughts a little bit easier and know, oh, okay, these are not necessarily my thoughts. These are just the thoughts that I'm accumulating based on the space that I'm interacting with during this specific point in time. So that's pretty much the gist of how I wanted to run down this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will go deeper onto this topic because there is more to cover, but just for now I wanted to put this out there because I think this is a really important starting point on being able to decipher things on a spiritual level and utilize your intuition better. Just another quick example as well before I go. With the people thing, I wanted to give an example just in case anyone was uncertain, because I don't want to leave any uncertainties and stuff. But also leave down in the comments if you feel like you have any more questions too. I'd love to hear them. So, what's it called? When you're around certain people, if you feel like you don't want to share certain things, or you feel uncomfortable to share certain ideas and certain topics to people, take heed to that. There's a reason to why you think certain ways when you're around certain people, because you don't just like think that about everyone. You don't just think that about everyone in your life. So there's a specific reason to why you picked up on that specific thought for that person, and so on and so forth. Laters, guys.